The current set of select graphs examines distinctions in ratings crossed by hours spent on homework daily during the school week, from less than 1 hour to more than 3 hours. Unless stated otherwise, all distinctions or associations mentioned in this presentation are statistically significant. A typical finding across student surveys conducted by LMI, students who spend more time on homework are more likely to be enrolled in the upper grades. Also a common finding, students who spend more time on homework report in greater proportion as female. A small but statistically significant distinction, those who spend less than 1 hour of homework on school nights report in greater proportion as day students. This may be because day students are more likely to be enrolled in the lower grades, and we already know that younger students spend less time on homework. Another common finding, those who spend more time on homework report in greater proportion receiving outside tutoring support other than extra help provided by their schools. Not an uncommon finding, those who spend more time on their homework also report getting less sleep on school nights. It is both possible that students who get less sleep will be more likely to take longer on homework if they're tired, and that students who spend more time on their homework may have less time for sleep. Moving on to the 5-point rating type measures, you'll see a lot of what we at LMI call the saddle effect, a typical effect when looking at ratings crossed by time spent on homework. The saddle effect occurs when students who spend less than 1 hour or more than 3 hours on homework give lower ratings compared to those who spend between 1 to 3 hours. It is likely that those who spend less than 1 hour on homework offer lower ratings because they are less engaged in their school experiences, while those who spend more than 3 hours provide lower ratings because they are overprogrammed and stressed. Here we see that those who spend less than 1 hour on homework on school nights report lesser agreement with the statement, "At least some of my teachers know who I am outside of the classroom." Here we see a milder version of the saddle effect, with those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights reporting lesser agreement with the statement, "I am comfortable being myself at school." Those students who spend less than 1 hour on homework also report lesser agreement with the statement, "I am enthusiastically involved in out-of-classroom activities." The same is true for the measure, "I am passionate about the study of at least one subject." Neither of these should come as a surprise, as those who dedicate less time to their academic workload likely also demonstrate less interest in academic subjects or their school community at large. Those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights also report lesser agreement with the statement, "I enjoy the social aspect of my dining experience at school," likely because they are too burned out to be as actively engaged in the socialization element of school, or perhaps because they are stereotyped as nerdy and therefore less popular. Again, we see an excellent example of the saddle effect here, with those who spend less than 1 hour and those who spend more than 3 hours reporting lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel a strong sense of belonging at school." This should come as no surprise. Those who spend more time on homework also report lesser feelings of capability in handling the day-to-day academic workload. Those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights also report lesser feelings of emotional safety while at school. They're also less likely to feel that they're encouraged to express their opinion. Those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights also report considerably lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel I have personal control over most of my successes and failures." These students also report lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel respected and valued at school." Both those who spend less than 1 hour on homework and more than 3 hours on homework report lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel that I gain meaningful positive value from being a member of the school community." Those who spend less than 1 hour on homework on school nights report lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel that I make a meaningful positive contribution to the experience of others within the school community." Those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights report lesser agreement with the statement, "I feel treated as an individual with unique needs, interests, and talents." The same is true for the measure, "I feel well supported at school as I strive to meet my potential." Those who spend less than 1 hour on homework are less likely to agree with the statement, "I have at least one close friend at school." When it comes to the attitudinal statement, "My school experience has helped me learn to engage constructively with people holding different perspectives from my own," both those who spend less than 1 hour on homework and those who spend more than 3 hours report lesser agreement. Students who spend more than 3 hours on homework daily report lesser agreement with the statement, "The school deals well with issues of bullying on campus." Those who spend less than 1 hour and those who spend more than 3 hours on homework are both less likely to agree with the statement, "The school encourages a love of learning in me." Moving on to the skills series, those who spend less than 1 hour on homework on school nights report lesser self-appraised preparedness for approaching life with intellectual curiosity. They also report lesser self-appraised preparedness for assuming a leadership role, while those who spend more than 3 hours on homework in particular report lesser self-appraised preparedness for handling stressful situations. Both those who spend less than 1 hour and those who spend more than 3 hours on homework report lesser self-appraised preparedness for interacting in a diverse environment. Compared to the other three groups, those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights report much lesser self-appraised preparedness for making choices that support their emotional well-being. In contrast, those who spend less than 1 hour on homework on school nights report much lesser self-appraised preparedness for setting high expectations for themselves. Those who spend more than 3 hours on homework on school nights also report in greater proportion having been personally affected by experiences of discrimination at school. This may also contribute to why they report getting less sleep. Noting the reverse saddle effect present, indicated by the lower proportion of discrimination reported by those who spend 1 to 2 hours on homework, those who spend more than 3 hours report in greater proportion having been discriminated against based on their race, ethnic origin, and religion. When interpreting this set of select graphs, it's also important to note that those who spend less time on homework are more likely to attend a school specializing in learning differences.